I'm Allen Garrett. We're talking to author Andrew Sampsel again on the Castle Reef series. This is part 3. We've got Drew back online with us right now, and it's good to talk with you. How are you?
I am doing well.
We're kind of looking at 2 books. One is Castle Reef Bloodlines, which is the follow-up to Castle Reef. Last time, Drew, I had asked you about these characters, and you're developing the characters, and you talked about how a lot of these people are based on your real-life experiences, but some of these situations that happen in the Castle Reef trilogy, honestly, I know it couldn't have happened to you because some of it with science fiction and mystery and intrigue. And so how did you get your ideas and your concepts with some of the themes that you dive into during Castle Reef?
I mentioned that I got the idea on a vacation and thought of that whole story, but then I thought to myself, there's more layers in a story, so I just kind of went wild and let my imagination go and thought of stories that might be happening with the characters and how it would all develop, because every character is obviously going through their own story, and I kind of wanted to bring them all together. So I love technology, I love sci-fi, I love things like that. And I thought that, hey, I'm going to use some current things that are on the horizon. And little did I know that a lot of the things in these 3 books are like happening right now. And as they were unfolding, as I was writing, I was like, oh my gosh, even though after the first one was published, I said, oh my gosh, artificial intelligence is now becoming, and now it's just the thing, you know. So,
oh yeah.
So that was touched on, and actually it's kind of a main thing in the book, and there's all kinds of stuff in there, human trafficking, stuff about our borders, law enforcement, government corruption,
right,
counterterrorism, all those things, and they were originally in that first book and continued on into Bloodlines and, of course, into the Legacy, the 3rd one. But as that stuff was unfolding in the media, in the news, I'm like, what is going on? And it was kind of fun to see it. You know, I'm not celebrating the bad stuff, but it was really neat to see that happening.
Oh, I know. And it's what it intrigues me by the whole thing, and you're exactly right, because when you started writing these books, and I think your first time you're writing it was it 2019 or 2020?
I got the idea in 2019,
yeah.
And then 2020 started writing. COVID happened, so it's been like a 5-year span.
And it's amazing because you're just talking about AI, and you do touch upon, a lot of that in here, and that really, up to like 2 years ago, people weren't even talking about. Your characters, though they grow and they develop, they're very consistent with their beliefs. And, you know, you've always been very faith-based. And these characters, not all of them, but these characters also have a very strong walk. Was that important to you when you were writing this?
Yes. Each one is going to develop, and they're at different levels, like all of us, in their walk with the Lord. And then some are trying to discover it, and some reject it. Some go up and down in their emotions with it. But I wanted to make that real, because as a faith-based book, I didn't even catalog it that way. Originally, it was, Christian thriller, sci-fi, romance. There was a lot of tags with it, but I didn't want to just put it out there as that, because I didn't want to repel people. It's a story, and these are believable characters going through the story, and all these characters have flaws, like all of us, and I just wanted to interweave real things that they deal with, but pull it all together, because the things that they're dealing with really makes up the main story.
It really does. If you're just tuning in, we're talking to author Andrew Sampsel. We're talking about the trilogy, the Castle Reef trilogy. Bloodlines is the second part of the trilogy, and then comes Legacy. in some ways, when I finished reading that, I thought, well, that resolves some of the stuff. You're talking about Courtney Alexander, and here she is at the very end. Does it wrap everything up for you, or are we going to see these characters again?
You'll see the characters again. First, the first novel, get the story out there, introduce the characters, have a little bit of resolution, but bring little breadcrumbs, lead them into Bloodlines. Bloodlines is like meat and potatoes. It describes like the connection to the family, and
yes,
every family has something going on. Everybody carries baggage, whether it's how they want to do life. Do they want to compartmentalize everything and then just move past it, or deal with it? And some of the characters, the antagonist, she obviously has a motivation, and there's an undercurrent. There's a backstory on her, why she acts the way she does, and that just continues right up into the end. And I'm not going to spoil everything, but it does continue. Things are resolved, and in the story too, I put some symbolism in there.
Yes,
all through it, and I'm not gonna reveal what that is. Just give you a little hint. It's actually, you can look at the covers of each book, the color of each book, and that's kind of a sign or a literary device. That's the word I was looking for, to use in these stories. Red is a stopping color, like it means so much. It's a warning. Green is a go. It's all good, and then yellow is caution. And if you look at the colors of objects, names, things like that through the whole story. I don't know if you've noticed that, but it's a symbolism through the three books, and like I said, there's a lot of Easter eggs in there, and the reader, I wrote it that, hey, they can read it again, they'll find it.
That is so, and I don't mean to interrupt, that is so true. Before I prepare for these interviews, I'll reread some of these things, and I'll always catch something that I didn't catch the first time, and I thought, did he do that on purpose? And it's like, yeah, there's very much a theme in there. It's like, read this part again and you'll catch something you didn't catch the first time. And I just think they're so well written. Castle Reef Bloodlines, and Castle Reef Legacy, all by author Andrew Sampsel. It's interesting too, because you also are a performer. You're an actor as well. And when you were writing some of these things, did you think about the possibility of writing these characters as a screenplay? Has that concept ever occurred to you?
Yeah. Actually, when I'm writing like I'm watching a movie, and I don't know how others write, but it comes into my mind. I see the scene, I see it, and I'm just writing down what I see. My wife is very gifted at editing, and we're kind of a team, and she will say, that doesn't make sense, so I gotta replay the scene. She'll look at things, and there's the publisher. Speaking of AI, most publishers, they use the whole AI thing to edit, but you find mistakes and things like that, but we choose to do old school. Write it, I see the scene, write it, she reviews it, and I write it again until it kind of makes sense. And it's good to have a second set of eyes.
Yes.
The first and second book are on Audible and Spotify and other audio book platforms. I think it's a good start. I actually, as I'm listening to it, I'm going, man, I could put sound effects in here. It's becoming the movie. But it's a good avenue for those who don't really like to read but want to listen while they're driving or working.
It's very popular. Yes, I think it's so great that you're doing that. And I think it's so great that we'll continue another series of interviews on our next go-round. I want to thank our author, of course, Andrew Sampsel, Castle Reef Bloodlines, and Castle Reef Legacy.
They are available at any book retailer. If they don't have it in stock, you just order. But Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, places like that. And also these interviews I wanted to mention I made a YouTube channel. I'm new at that. But these interviews are on my YouTube channel as well, so they can like and share and all that stuff, which I'm more concerned about writing and getting the story out. The whole social media thing is really not my thing, but
you have a great team with Susan. We'll talk again very shortly, and Drew, say hi to Susan for me. Andrew Sampsel, Castle Reef author. This is Allen Garrett. The Castle Reef trilogy is available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart Online, Books A Million, Audiobook, Spotify, and more.